Welcome to Parlay TV.
Plenty of things look easy at first. Skydiving, lion taming. From the comfort of your armchair, all sorts of risks look easy as
Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, and Bruno Fernandes literally
blew Russia off the park in a clinical display of attacking football.
Wow.
Sorry, what did you say, Kobe?
Wow, bro.
Let's break it down.
I am Pat Mayo, and I'm here to give you the best pick at the top of the board. The best bet, if you will.
So I'm going to go with just under 25 for Middleton here.
Welcome back, everybody, to Layin the Points with Luca Rosano here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, back with another action-packed show. In today's show, we're going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors. We're going to be talking Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year chances, followed by the abysmal Lakers. The Lakers had everybody talking on Twitter last night. I mean, this team was absolutely ripped apart, and rightfully so. This is a team that has just been horrible to watch all season long. But the nightmare is finally over for Lakers fans. They've been officially eliminated from playing contention. We'll get into more on that and then followed by my best bet of the night. But speaking of bets, I was on fire last night, man. If you listened to the show and took my advice, you went a perfect 3-0. I told you Leafs Panthers, smashed the over 7 total goals. The over went over and then some. I mean, that was a goal fest. Unfortunately, the Leafs did lose. So I'm glad I didn't touch the Leafs on the money line. I just took over 7 total goals. The other bet that came in, the Raptors, -4 against the Atlanta Hawks. And, that was it was an interesting game. Raptors got out to that big lead. Atlanta battled back in the fourth. But then the Raptors just went on that run to close out the game, and they covered this spread easily. And then I told you with my best bet of the night, which was my best bet of the night, literally, the Heat -5.5. They blew the doors off of Charlotte Hornets. The Heat covered that -5.5 point spread and then some. I think they ended up winning this game by 30. It was definitely not a game you wanted to watch if you're a Hornets fan. But yeah, all in all, 3-0 with my picks. My best bet continues to pick up steam, and you definitely want to stay tuned until the end of the show when I give you my best bet for tonight. But we're actually going to start things off here with the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors are going back to the playoffs, folks. 8th playoff berth in 9 seasons. It's funny because I feel like as fans, we sometimes take this for granted. You can see fans complain after a loss to Detroit or a loss to Orlando, saying that the Raptors should just tank. They don't have a chance to make any noise. But you look at what this team has done in the grand scheme of things. It is impressive. You want to talk about consistent success? 8 playoff trips in 9 seasons, which includes winning the damn championship in 2019. And then in the one bad season that they had, it might go down as one of the best retools in one season in NBA history. They get Scotty Barnes in the 1 year where they're bad, who is a generational talent. And here come the Raptors back in business, looking to make some noise as what's left to be determined is this team going to be a 5th seed or a 6th seed? And we're going to find out that shortly. But as of right now, they're the 5th seed because Chicago lost to the Bucks last night. The Raptors exceeded my expectations, and I think they exceeded a lot of people's expectations. So I did have this Raptors team making the playoffs at the start of the season, but I thought they were going to get into the playoffs through the play-in. I thought they were going to finish 8th. I did not think the Raptors would clear the top 6 with some room to spare. And that's exactly what they've done. A lot of people didn't even have this Raptors team in the playoffs, nowhere near the playoffs. ESPN ranked the Raptors 20th overall on their power rankings going into the season. They had them winning, I believe it was 35 games. And here are the Raptors once again in a position to play a first-round playoff series. Nobody expected this type of rise from the Raptors following last season. I mean, I knew they were going to be better, but I didn't think they would be this good, where Fred VanVleet played like an all-star. Gary Trent Jr. really showed the Raptors that they won that trade, getting him for Norman Powell, and he's got so much untapped potential still to get into. Scotty Barnes looking like a 4-year vet, looking like the prize of the draft. Pascal Siakam playing like an all-NBA. Chris Boucher's emergence from off the bench, bringing that energy. And Nick Nurse really solidifying himself as one of the best coaches in the NBA. The Raptors turned a lot of non-believers into believers. And the same narrative is going to play out in the first round. Oh, the Raptors are just going to be one and done. It's like, how can you possibly count out this team after they continuously prove you wrong? And it's funny, I remember Fred VanVleet said something. I don't remember the quote verbatim, but he was asked about kind of the outside noise and people writing off this Raptors team, and he gave such a Fred VanVleet answer. He's just like, well, we've been in this position before. We know how it feels to be dismissed like this. And it's true. The Raptors don't care if ESPN's writing them off, if their own fan base is writing them off. I mean, the Raptors admin exposed their own fans who said this team wouldn't sniff the playoffs or go anywhere near the playoffs. So there were non-believers from within this Raptors fan base. And the Raptors are back where they belong, and that is in the postseason. And man, I tell you, that first playoff game back at Scotiabank Arena, which will probably be a game 3, it's going to hit different, man. First home playoff game in Toronto, Ontario since that 2019 magical run. I can't wait. Jurassic Park's going to be buzzing. The fans are going to be buzzing. And this Raptors team's going to look to make some noise. And for those people who think it's going to be a very short stand for the Raptors in the playoffs, I would not want to bet against this team. I mean, you look at how they match up against some of their presumed opponents, and the Raptors would not be a huge underdog in any of those matchups. Ideally, I would like to see the Raptors go up against the 76ers. I said on my Twitter yesterday, at Luca Rosano 3, I want a Sixers-Raptors matchup. I think the Raptors would honestly win that series. There's a lot of pressure on the Sixers right now. You start to see things not go their way. Doc Rivers is being questioned again, and we know how he has a tendency of choking in big moments. James Harden's not a postseason performer. Joel Embiid has been a guy who has been locked down by the Raptors over the past couple of seasons. That's a series I want. The Bucks would be a little tricky. I know the Raptors have had their number, but that's still the defending champs, and they are playing good basketball right now. But we'll get into matchups more so later on. But I just really wanted to emphasize this point, and that is Raptors fans have been spoiled. Don't take this success for granted, because teams would die for what the Raptors have gone through of consistent postseason berths, having a chance to compete for the big one and actually winning one. Tremendous player development, turning guys you have never heard of into role players, developing draft talent into studs. It's more about that. It's more about what this team, this organization, this franchise, Masai Ujiri and company have done, turning the Raptors into a very elite franchise in the NBA. The model franchise, if you will, of how you go from irrelevancy to relevancy almost every single season. So it's going to be fun to see this team back in the playoffs, man. I'm super excited. And yeah, people are going to be ready to go here in Toronto. They're going to be ready to cheer on this Raptors team. And a lot of people are starting to believe this team can actually do something in the playoffs. Who would have thought that at the start of the season, man? All right, we're going to talk Scotty Barnes now. Scotty Barnes, like, he's another one of those guys nobody expected to be this good this early. Like I mentioned before, he looks like a 4-year veteran out there. He looks like a guy who's been in these big moments. And he's easily putting up tremendous stat lines when it seems like he doesn't even have a good game. It's remarkable how much of an impact he's had on this Raptors team immediately. And it's crazy because a lot of people thought the Raptors got this wrong. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. At first, I was genuinely shocked, like everybody else, that the Raptors did not take Jalen Suggs, which at that time was more of a need to replace Kyle Lowry's departure. then go with Scotty Barnes. But I'm glad I'm not the one calling the shots on this team, and Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, and company are, because they saw something in Barnes that nobody saw. And you look at Scotty Barnes, he's going to be one of the best players of this draft when it's all said and done. Now, it's tremendously deep. Evan Mobley, Kate Cunningham, even Jalen Green have shown their worth. Agidi has come onto the scene. But Scotty Barnes is no fluke. This dude is legit. And when you talk about his rookie of the year chances, I think they're really good right now. It looked like Evan Mobley was going to walk away with this thing from the All-Star break. But you look at what's happened since. Scotty Barnes has played arguably better than Mobley since the All-Star break. Evan Mobley now has been in injury problems, which sucks to see, but he hasn't really been playing in any of these games of late. And the most important factor, the Cavs, they've sunk. The Raptors, they've gone up. And that was the one thing Evan Mobley had, in my opinion, over Scotty Barnes' Rookie of the Year case. That his team and the Cavaliers were higher up, had more success than the Raptors in the standings. Now you can't make that argument anymore. The Raptors are ahead of the Cavs, and it's the Cavs, not the Raptors, who are going to be playing in the play-in. So Scotty Barnes checks all the boxes of a Rookie of the Year campaign. He's doing things that guys like LeBron and Luca have only done as a rookie. He's got the numbers to back him up. And the team impact, the team success is evident. So how can Scotty Barnes not win this award? I think he's got it. I really do. I think he's got it. He's my pick to win it. And it's going to take a huge, controversial type of swing here for Scotty Barnes not to win this award. Because it's looking clear as day that Scotty Barnes is on his way to win the Rookie of the Year award, which is going to be huge. He'll be the first Raptor rookie to win it since Damon Stoudemire back in the day. So Raptors got a lot of good things going for them right now, man. It's hard not to smile if you're a Raptors fan. And it's hard not to be pissed off if you're a Lakers fan. We got to talk about the Lakers. I mean, how can I not? Everybody's been talking about them. Everybody's been punching them, using them as a punching bag. But the Lakers, one of the worst seasons you will ever see from this franchise. One of the biggest disappointments in Lakers history. Year 2021-2022 Lakers. To think people bought into this hype. ESPN talking about how much depth they had. Perk talking about how they would close in on 70 wins. People having this team in the NBA Finals, winning a championship. It's crazy how this literally just went off a cliff. The Lakers had such a bad season that even LeBron couldn't have any more of it near the end. I mean, LeBron couldn't even watch as his Lakers got eliminated once again by the Phoenix Suns last night. But you look at this team, they were destined to fail. I mean, anytime you think a team of unproven, aging players with a 37-year-old LeBron James and an injury-prone Anthony Davis is going to work, you got something coming for you. And what added even more insult to injury for this Lakers team was that Magic Johnson went on ESPN and basically said they had a chance at DeRozan, but LeBron was already convinced that Westbrook was his guy, was the Lakers' guy. So whatever narrative, whatever way you want to look at the story, one thing has proven true. The Lakers were a mess, and they are not even going to make the play-in. Who would have thought that? This thing was a snowball, and it just did not stop. It got worse and worse every single day. And I didn't think it'd be this bad, where the Lakers would not even make the play-in after LeBron criticized the play-in and said, we don't even need this. Well, LeBron, it was your only shot at making the playoffs this season, and you missed the mark of that. So if you're a Lakers fan, I mean, I'm curious. How do you view this LeBron Lakers tenure, which isn't done, but a lot of people are saying maybe it is. LeBron works in fours, and this will be his fourth full season with the Lakers. And you look at LeBron's tenure with the Lakers. I don't care what you say, it's not a really good one. Lakers fans expected more from the King. They expected to have a chance to win a championship every single one of the seasons, when in reality, first season, missing the playoffs, 2020, second season, yeah, you won the championship, but it was a bubble championship. It didn't have the same effect as some of these other championships. And you got to think people are kind of discrediting that championship just because of the circumstances, not having a true home crowd, playing in unwarranted environments. Then you look at 2021, eliminated in the first round by the Suns. And then 2022, you missed the playoffs again, but worse, you missed the play-in for a chance to get into the playoffs. That's 1 out of 4. And yes, the championship is there, but those 3 years where the championship is not, those aren't good years. Those aren't years where they had a chance. Those are terrible years that you are not even going to remember any bit of them. So Lakers fans traded off basically all their draft capital, all of their amazing young assets, guys like Brandon Ingram, D'Lo, for one bubble championship with the King. And now your franchise is in ruins for the next 5 years or even longer. And LeBron James could very well leave you to clean up the mess that he created. It's not good right now for LeBron or the Lakers. And I'll say this, it's not good for LeBron's legacy. He had to win championships with the Lakers. And yes, he does have that one. But you look at every other year, he has looked very bad with this Lakers team. Now, himself, he's put up the numbers that we've all come to know and be wowed by. But I'm talking about overall team success. Lakers fans expected a hell of a lot more. So I think this LeBron tenure overall has been a disappointment. You can call it a failure. And I think this will, in some way, affect LeBron's legacy of going out west and not even making the playoffs in 2 of the 4 seasons with this Lakers team. That was designed to win now. That was designed to win championships. But y'all better be lucky that you did get that one. Because if he did not get that one, I mean, damn. Lakers fans would have nothing to put their hat on. So it's crazy. Raptors get into the playoffs. Lakers miss the playoffs. Everybody slandering LeBron. It was a good night on the TL on Twitter. What can I say? All right. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, I've been on fire with my bets, particularly my best bet. And we're going to close with my best bet of the night on this fine Wednesday, April 6th. And I'm taking the Clippers tonight. Give me the Clippers minus 2.5 against the Phoenix Suns. Now, you might think that's a crazy pick, but not so fast. So the Phoenix Suns, they're 60-plus wins into the season, second out of a back-to-back. I don't think they're going to play all their players here. And you look at the Clippers, they're trying to tune up for the play-in. They're trying to get Paul George back. They're trying to get themselves into rhythm so they could get out of the play-in, and then maybe Kawhi can come back. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I put in that Futures Clippers championship bet. But I like the Clippers in this spot because the Suns are coming in on the second night of a back-to-back. They're probably going to rest some guys. And the Clippers have actually owned the Suns this season, beating them a handful of times. So I can see why the Clippers are the favorite here, and they're at home. I like the Clippers. I will lay the points with the Clippers, and I think the Phoenix Suns will have a tough time with them tonight. And this was a team that prior to that win against the Lakers had lost 2 games in a row. So whether it's a hot take or not, I mean, not really. The Clippers are favorites tonight, so Vegas thinks they're going to win as well. But I am laying the points. Sticking to the theme of this show, I've been laying the points a lot lately from somebody who usually takes the points. But hey, it's been going well for me, so I'm going to keep it up with that. I'm going to keep laying the points until it doesn't work any longer. So that's my bet of the night. Clippers minus 2 against the Phoenix Suns. Send it to the bank. Okay, that will conclude another show. And before we wrap up here, just want to once again announce that the Parlay will be hosting a very special event tonight at the Rec Room with Danny Green. A live podcast with Danny Green as he finally gets his championship ring from the Toronto Raptors. There's going to be a very special guest there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say his name, but he does play for the Raptors. He does come from off the bench. That's all I'll give you. But if you want to be a part of this great event hosted by the Parlay at the Rec Room this evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you can still get there by getting yourself a ticket at theparlay.com/events. Myself and the rest of the Parlay team will be there. So come, hang out, grab some drinks, and say hi. That will conclude another edition of Laying the Points with Luca Rosano on this April 6th edition, as we will see if my pick of the night comes in again. And let me know what you thought of today's show. Let me know what you think of the Raptors' playoff chances. Let me know what you think of LeBron James's Lakers tenure. You can follow this podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can catch us streaming all over the Parlay social media channels as we come to you live every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. This is Luca Rosano signing off. Have a great rest of your day.